All across East Asian culture, there are these statues of fierce guardian lions that stand watch outside of temples, shrines, places, and treasures to which they have sworn their loyalty to protect. But what happens when one of these guardians has lost what it was supposed to look after? For Hakuji, who was born into poverty, resorting to stealing and being branded with thieves' tattoos in order to afford to pay for his severely ill father's medicine, only for his father to eventually take his own life, as he could no longer bear being a burden to his son. His name was spelt in the same characters as that of the guardian lions. In name, he carried the dutiful essence and responsibility to guard and protect. In the midst of a violent rampage, he was discovered by the man who would become his martial arts master, Keizo, who quickly subdued him and took him under his wing, teaching him the bare-fisted Soryu style. Keizo had a daughter, who was around Hakuji's age. Much like Hakuji's father, she was sick and bedridden. Her name was Koyuki. Seeing that her daughter wasn't getting any better, her mother had been so anguished while caring for her daughter that she too took her own life. With both families having lost an important piece, each was left with a hole to fill. Keizo appointed Hakuji to take care of his daughter while he was away, fulfilling his duties as the breadwinner. With this new duty bestowed upon him, and having had experience tending to his late father, Hakuji was diligent and meticulous in caring for Koyuki. Through time, a newfound love gave him purpose and pulled him out of despair. Our guardian lion now had a home and people he cared about that he could protect. Because of Hakuji's faith and care, Koyuki was eventually able to recover her health to the point that she could walk on her own. In her words, everyone around her didn't seem to believe that she would ever get better. Even her own mother was so heartbroken seeing her daughter in such a state every day that she could no longer bear it. However, with Hakuji, she was able to have normal conversations. He promised to bring her to see the annual fireworks in their village together once she got better. It didn't matter that she was too weak to see them this year. He could always bring her next year, and the year after that. One day, during a fireworks display in town, Koyuki asked Hakuji to marry her, which he accepted. It truly seemed as though Hakuji had found his happily ever after. However, on the day that Hakuji paid a visit to his old village to pay respects to his father at his resting place, and tell him the good news, he discovered upon his return to Keizo's dojo that his master and fiancé were killed. Members of an adjacent dojo, who had long been trying to extort Keizo for his land, poisoned the well from which Keizo and Koyuki drank. Koyuki and her father pulled him out of despair, giving him a family worth defending. When this tragedy ripped them away, the guardian lion's roar turned hollow. With no one left to protect, his strength lost purpose, and his path collapsed into darkness. This devastation left him empty, making him easy prey for the evil Muzan Kibutsuji. Hakuji the Protector was gone. In his place, the Upper Moon 3, Akaza, was born. What makes the demon Akaza a compelling character is that he has many contradictory traits. He would spend the next centuries turning innocent people into donuts. As a demon, he was ruthless. However, he lived by an unorthodox code of honor. He respected strength and hated weakness, which is a reference to his trauma in his past life as a human, much to the sentiment of the commonly heard quote, "If you believe strong people are dangerous, Just wait till you see what weak people are capable of. Whereby a direct example would be weak people not being able to win fair and square, so instead they poison the well from which their opponents drink. Although Muzan erased his memories as a human, he never ate women or children, adhering to his honor he held on to as a warrior in his past life. This duality shows us that Hakuji the man never completely disappeared. Deep down, the guardian lion was still there, chained by grief and twisted by rage. His obsession with strength wasn't about power for its own sake. It was the only way he knew to fill the emptiness left behind by a great loss. Hakuji's tragedy carries lessons that reach far beyond the mainline story. Unresolved pain can consume us. His grief rendered the guardian lion's roar hollow. Strength without purpose is meaningless. As a human, Hakuji protected. As a demon, Akaza destroyed. However, those we cherish and love never truly leave us. Even as a demon, his techniques were reminiscent of his past life and his bond with Koyuki. They seemed to be based off of the motif of fireworks, symbolizing his promise to bring Koyuki to see the fireworks together when she was healthy enough to go into town, as well as the snowflake pattern, which resembled the hairpin decorations that Koyuki wore. Even through centuries of bloodshed, Hakuji's love for Koyuki lingered. It guided his actions in ways he never fully understood, having lost his memories as a human, and in the end, it was that very love which finally set him free. Hakuji's story reminds us that the meaning of strength lies within its purpose, and that even in our darkest moments, our humanity never fully disappears. The question is, when we lose what we hold the most dear, do we lose our way? Or do we persevere and find a new reason to stand and protect yet again?